Alrighty, fight fans, we are here with Tyler Bloodthirsty Miller, Trifecta team's own, and we are here to talk to him today about his fight career so far, about what he has been pursuing in his life outside of that, and also what he looks to do in his in his amateur career and on. So Tyler here today, just got done with the holiday season. How was your holidays? Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving. How was everything treating you this year?
It was cool, I made sure my daughter had her presents, and other than that, I'm really just I'm kind of just like I isolate myself, man. I got a tunnel vision on my dreams, so like there's no days off. A lot of other fighters are, taking some time off, partying with the family, this, that, and the other. But I'm in and out. I stay sober, and I mean, I even worked out on the holidays, and trained on the holidays. So I mean, I'm just completely focused on my goals, and I enjoyed them for what they were worth. And now it's on back to being focused.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely I feel like that's a great angle to look at it from because a lot of time often guys will get, how you said, caught up in that partying, they're just so like, oh yeah, well it's the family time, and then they put on some pounds or they you
Yeah,
the classic oh no, I got into a little drinking during the holidays, so now I'm a little overweight, and those are things you never really want to see as a fighter. And I'm glad that you're kind of sticking your nose out of them, keeping yourself really disciplined and on that straight and narrow. And talking about that straight and narrow on that discipline, you have been extremely active, as you have stated in your fighting career, even in these past years since the COVID layoff that all happened to everyone in 2020. You've had 12 fights in that time frame, with 10 fights coming in, I believe, 2022. So,
yeah.
what would you say has been your main motor? Was there any reasoning, or was it just you wanted to get in that cage and just start getting after it?
Well, I'm not gonna go too deep into my personal life, but I'll say this: fighting eventually. I mean, as you know, I started off as a street fighter, but fighting really what it did for me was it gave me an opportunity to like really do something that I was good at, like that was viewed as a negative, turn it into a positive and pursue, some money behind it. Um, I mean, my career got off to a rough start because I was fighting when my head was in a bad place. I had a street fight, then I actually got into the Ami cage, knocked somebody out, and then I was going through a crazy breakup and drama on that front, and my mind wasn't really in it. So every time I would take a loss, I wouldn't really sit there and think about why I lost or what was going on behind the scenes. I would just jump back in there, being stubborn, being bullheaded, like just trying to force it. And I guess just until recently, the damage behind that issue kind of settled, and I found Trifecta actually. I believe I had a bad decision with the referee. They called verbal submission because I was making noise while I was trying to get out of the submission, and behind the stage, or not, it's not behind, backstage, Mondo walked up to me and he seen that I was frustrated. He invited me to come train at Trifecta, and it just seems like my skill set, but more importantly, my peace of mind, just being around people that are focused on their goals, wanting more out of life, and other competitors. Like I feel like that's really bringing the champion out of me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm pretty sure the veteran presence of Mondo Perez, and then that UFC presence of Marion Renault, I'm pretty sure that's a great influence. And then being around David Mariscal and Juan Pato Jimenez as training over there at Trifecta, it's a great family, and I know that they're for sure taking care of you as you've been taking care of them ever since you've joined the Trifecta family. You've been on this win streak. You've gotten 2 wins in a row, and
Yeah, back to back. Yeah,
back to back. Yeah, and in September and as well as in
December.
December. So, what would you say has been your main contributing factor to winning these fights? Because you have been facing some tough opponents. You faced Devin Guerrero. That was one of your
Yeah,
wins before, I believe before June, and then you ended up having
yeah.
a couple of wins after in September
Against
and
Julio
December,
and I yeah,
and
against
Isaac.
Julio and yeah, and Isaac.
And
And
so you've had
oh
your
sorry, go
fair
ahead.
share of
Go ahead.
oh
Sorry.
no, you're good. I was just going to tell you, you've had your fair share of competition, and just for these fans to remember, you're not just fighting any regular old Joes in there. You're going against guys that are
Yeah,
getting title shots, even
yeah.
Jonathan Voorhees. So would you want to go into that a little bit more, and maybe how that influenced your decision to taking your
Um
training to that next level?
well, yeah, these last couple fights actually have been going real well. As you said, I've beat two people that's fought for the belt already. And Julio Larave was a damn good wrestler, and that was a really tough fight. But I can honestly say that, I mean, just being around, Coach Mondo and Coach Mary and David and, all these guys who are like already won belts and, already gone places that I'm trying to go, to be around that atmosphere and for them to really breathe that kind of confidence into me. I mean, it just does something, I mean, I believe I've always had the skill set, I mean, of course, you always can improve, but I believe that being around these like guys that are just truly centered around their craft and radiating this self belief, it's really jumping inside of me too. So like now, like for instance, that Julio Larave fight, I was in there going full Nate Diaz mode. Like I was talking shit, like you know what I mean, making hand gestures. And the reason why I was able to express that side of myself was because I was around people who were confident, and their confidence kind of it rubbed off on
Radiates.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that it makes a lot of sense. And to go on to talk about your previous subject about the verbal submission, I believe I had watched that fight, and I think that was with the Jonathan Voorhees. And yeah, it did. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it didn't. It was kind of a miscommunication and what it seemed, but it's crazy now that you've gone from that, and then that kind of pillared into you going into
What?
Trifecta, and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
because it's a little crazy if you really think about that, and I
Perfect
just really
storm,
want to,
right?
yeah, I really wanted to highlight that because I thought that was pretty interesting. And you've, as we've stated before, you've had a lot of experience in the cage in this past 2 years um fighting since 2021 in February. But your first fight was for the Empire FC promotion, and that is in the Midwest. So would you want to kind of go into your originality, where you started out from
Yeah, yeah,
in your beginning life?
yeah. So I started off as a street fighter. Believe it or not, I guess I think around the age of 16. I don't. This was like around the time like the Kimbo Slice videos were going around on YouTube. I don't know when they were recorded, but I know that they were really getting popular around the 2013, 2014 era, maybe a little further back, 2012. But yeah, like those were circulating, and I guess just being where I was in Hawaii, Polynesian culture is real big on fighting. It's basically the equivalency of like football here in the South, or even like the Raiders here in California. I mean, it's just one of those things to where it's just like everybody fights. I mean, even if the police see somebody having a one on one, they will let you
Just
fight it
let it
out.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as nobody jumps in, they'll let it go. Like that's just the culture over there. And so I don't know, like I just noticed like how everybody was getting respect street fighting, because I mean, I try not to put too much of my business out there, but I grew up in CPS, so I didn't really have a structure. I didn't really have a family. I didn't really have a dad or a mom. So I had to go out there and I had to earn some type of respect. I didn't have a big brother to be like, oh, don't screw with my little brother or nothing like that. I had nothing behind me. So I had to go out there and figure out a way to really fit in. And I just noticed, I was like, man, it seems like all the dudes that are winning the fights are like respected around the high school. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start picking fights with all the fucking bullies around here. So that's what I did. Like if I seen somebody fucking with my friend, or if I seen somebody just picking on somebody unnecessarily, I would step in the way because not only am I doing homeboy a favor, somebody who's trying to avoid conflict, but also it's an opportunity to show people that, hey, this dude's a badass. So, I mean, that's where I really kind of got started on the street fighting aspect of it. Um, I always had the skill set. I mean, I've never lost a street fight. There's been times when I've been jumped by like 4 or 5 people and I've dropped like 2 of them. And it's just always been a real natural thing for me. But I would say when I hit the age of around 23, I'm not going to go too deep into my backstory, but from 18 being a street fighter, I would say I started training at about 23, 22. And then at about 26, actually, excuse me, 24, 20. Damn it. Time's flying by. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're
Um,
good.
at the age of 23 is when I started training seriously. Really was just strength and conditioning. And then I purchased the bag, started perfecting my striking skills. And it wasn't really for anything more than to be like fit. And then I don't know, like I guess Street Beefs came to Dallas, Texas in 2020. And Mighty Mouse was the referee. I don't know if you know how that is, but it's a short, stocky, swole
Shorts.
dude with
Yeah.
with all the tattoos. So Street Beefs came to Texas, and I got my first underground fight like in front of a large crowd there, and put on a really good performance. I got the victory. I think it did I think we got about 20,000 plus views on YouTube.
Yeah,
And
it's
then yeah, well, I mean, the video that I sent you was my own personal video, but Mighty Mouse's video on his platform got like 20,000.
yeah, I'd
Um,
after you'd sent me that video, I did a little bit more research on it, and I was looking up like trying to find out who Mighty Mouse was because
yeah,
I had no knowledge of who he was as a as a I guess as an entertainer, and then I kind of went into the internet, into the deep realms, and I kind of figured it out. But that's I really wanted to point that out too because I feel that's so interesting to go into the amateur showcase, and like how you were saying, you started off in such a big platform doing these street beasts in Dallas, and it's just crazy that now you're doing these 559 fights and you're beating these people that are challenging for titles, and I'm glad that you went into that background of yours as well, because I feel like that's something that a lot of fighters always try and shy away from of, oh, well, I had a bad
yeah.
past and stuff like that. But I feel that's such a key thing, especially
Well,
nowadays, you know?
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's honestly where my how would I say my MMA character that's where it comes from, man. Like you know me, man. Like I mean, we're teammates. Like I'm a cool dude. I'm pretty laid back. But when I go into that octagon, when I go into that cage, like a part of that person that comes out is really me drawing into past experiences, like shit from my past life, and it allows me to kind of become a completely different person when a fight starts. So I mean, I feel like I kind of have to give credit where it's due because the struggle is really what made me a fighter. I mean, shit, if I didn't have a fighting heart to deal with a lot of the shit that I went through, I mean, I couldn't have the courage to step into that octagon. I mean, when in all reality, I mean, a lot of shit can happen in there if you don't really have confidence in yourself or your abilities.
Yeah, no, you mean you can get knocked out, you can get an arm broken, crazy
Yeah,
amount of things can happen in that octagon that a lot of fight fans I feel kind of goes over their heads, and they don't realize it when it's a fighter and it's a human. And
yeah,
it's I feel they get back into that gladiator you back in the day with the Romans, where they
yeah.
view them as warriors and they don't view them as people. But on to go about your fighting career and about your potential matchups further on. We've stated that you fought some pretty high profile people in the 559 fights realm. You've even fought Arturo Burgos, who was a
Yeah.
challenger for the flyweight title, and I mean that was at bantamweight, but still that's still another title. So I mean you have Devin Guerrero, Arturo Burgos, you have um
Chris Paez,
yeah,
Xavier
Chris
Moreno.
Varys, yeah, Xavier Moreno. Like these are all guys that have been in that title conversation, and for you, I'm almost positive you wouldn't mind having some gold around your waist, you know. So
Yeah.
what's for Tyler Miller's future?
Well, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I'm not the entitled type, you know. I mean, having a belt, a lot of benefits come with having a belt. I mean, you get a lot more attention, and you get a lot more people interested in doing business with you just because of that clout, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm here to become a better fighter, you know. I mean, uh, I know that I can bring star power to the cage with or without the belt, but I feel like the belt will kind of just magnify it, you know, not to sound like arrogant or anything, but um, I mean, even if I'd like to fight Royce Butler. He has the belt right now. I mean, even if he didn't have the belt, I mean, it's just me and him were supposed to fight before he had the belt, honestly, and I had to, you know, withdraw because when me and Devin fought, I got eye gouged and I had to cut on the inside of my eyelid. But I mean, you know, hopefully he can hold on to that belt, you know, for a few more months because I believe that if they don't give me a title shot coming into March, if I can go out this next show in March of 2023, and if I get another good performance and get my hand raised, I feel like I mean, they don't have a choice but to give me a title shot. I mean, dude, I've beaten two contenders already. Like I was supposed to fight the guy who has the belt right now, like previously. So it's
Previously,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like, give me who I already told Jeremy. I said, dude. He said, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. I said, bro, just give me whoever is going to put me in a closer place to getting that belt.
Yeah, and I think Jeremy has done that job, and I feel like you were just right on that cusp, man. I'm so excited for your fight career because I know like I'm just like oh like you know with some fighters like oh yeah this guy's he's right there, man, and that's how I feel with watching your performances. And I that Royce Butler matchup, that would be an insanely fun one to watch because
Two strikers.
you guys are just both
Yeah.
strikers, and I mean
Yeah.
you guys, that would be a fun one. That would definitely
It'd
be a
be,
fun
man.
one. um, but to go on to your potential professional prowess, you know, uh, I mean, is there a timeline for you, Tyler, that you would feel like yes, this would you know by age because you right now you're 26, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
that's correct.
so you would, is there like maybe like okay by 30 I want to you know I want to do this, and I know you said you're not the entitled type, and
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I'm very happy that you're humble in that sense, but you know I know that you fighters love to have your goals, so is there a timeline for you that you really just you're set on?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, man, I mean, I'm at a point to where like I'm real confident in my ability to go pro now. I mean, if I had smart matchups, however, if the matchups would have to be really tailored to my fighting style. But as of now, my focus is I want to go out there probably win three more fights, uh, three or four more fights. And after that, you know, if whether or not if I have gold or if I don't have gold, I'm gonna go pro. So I would say expect me to be preparing to go pro around the beginning of winter of 2023. Of course, as you know, it's completely up to our coaches. You know, it's up to Coach Mo and it's up to Coach Mondo. But um, I feel like if I go out there and I just continue to dominate, I mean, if you know everything looks good, I don't see why I can't start preparing for pro at the beginning of winter of next year, or excuse me, this year now.
Yeah, no, and that would definitely be I feel like that would be the perfect kind of sequence of events for
Timeline.
you know
Yeah.
having that pro kind of preparation in the winter of 2023. But I just wanted to touch on the March 2023 factor. You so is that gonna be a confirmation? Did I just get a fight confirmation from Tyler Miller
Yeah, man.
himself?
Hey, I'm all ready for it. All they got to do is send me the matchup, and I'm ready, man.
All
I'm
right.
I've gotten real confident in my grappling. So hopefully, the way the fights are gonna start going now is I'm hoping that we can start off striking. Hopefully they get discouraged shooting for takedowns and realizing that I'm strong there as well. And then hopefully we can actually spend the a good portion of the fight trading strikes. I mean,
Yeah.
as you've seen with the Julio Larave fight. I mean, it can get pretty entertaining when you have somebody that's willing to stand up with you. I mean, I know he was shooting for takedowns a lot, but when we got the distance, I mean, I feel like the striking was very entertaining. So that's kind of what I want to bring to the atmosphere. I kind of want to bring that Justin Gagey, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway type of vibe, where you just swinging and banging, you know what I mean? But I mean, I love the ground too. I'll take a win any way I can get it. But I mean, I guess striking is just my first love, so I try to do it as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, there's only really one way to get super bloodthirsty out in that cage, and
Yeah,
it's by throwing those fists around. You don't really get too
yeah.
much by grappling out there. I mean, you can,
Uh,
pressure and such,
well,
but
once you hit the pro level, that's a different beast, man. Because they start dropping them freaking elbows,
those
and you,
elbows.
yeah, like if El Kukui, Tony Ferguson or John Bones Jones gets a hold of you, yeah, he'll turn your face into a hamburger patty. But for now, at the AMI level, nah, I mean it's really hard to really bust somebody's face up on the ground unless you get some really clean shots in.
Yeah, unless you're just pillowing down, throwing those shots down, and even then, I mean, a lot of these guys that are in the amateur levels, they're not fighting to the point where they're having the ability to throw those strikes to the point where it's knocking a grown man out. And that's what I tell a lot of people
Yeah,
too. I mean, and it's not no knock against anyone. It's just it's an extremely
it's
hard thing
just
to do to knock another
yeah,
human being
yeah.
out.
Mm.
But um last question here for you, Tyler. I've really enjoyed our time here today. It's been a great time enjoying
Me as well.
having you on. But this who would you say is the reason you fight for? At the end of the day, I feel that all fighters have a pretty like ground reason why they fight. And I know you mentioned your
Yeah,
daughter previously, and you mentioned your family.
yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to single out?
Yeah, man. Believe it or not, dude, I feel like most people will say like, I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to say like most. I feel like most people will say like, I'm fighting for. Some people will say money. I'm fighting for a way to provide. Some people will say I'm fighting to bring honor to my family, which in a way I kind of am myself. But I feel like the main reason why I'm fighting is to show people that you know anything is possible. Like I'm fighting for that inspiration factor, like kind of like how Muhammad Ali was. Um, like I feel like there's just something about, especially when you're an underdog, like when you have a rough start in your career, or even if you have a rough life and you're known for being a screw up or whatever. Like to really turn your life around and then to go to war with another human being, like when somebody sees you like in a chokehold and like your face is turning red, but you still break out of that shit and you just get on top of somebody and you start beating them down. It's like just to show people that, like, I guess you don't have to be a fighter to have a fighter spirit. You know what I mean? We all have battles. You don't have to have a physical altercation with somebody to be fighting a battle. You know what I mean? So I feel like being a fighter and also like having a large audience, it shows people that, hey man, a lot of the fighting is so similar to life because a lot of it is you just being able to give out more than you take. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
just keep taking that pain, just keep taking whatever you're going through, and eventually it will be your turn to give some shit back. So that's the vibe that I like from fighting, and that's the message that I like to spread. And so that's kind of one of the main reasons why I fight, just to show people that hey, if you got the heart, no matter what you're facing, you can overcome it.
Yeah, Tyler, that's absolutely, that's why I love you as a fighter and as a person, because you persevere and you show through, you're really like a Rocky in a sense. That
Thank
if
you. That's some big
that's
shoes to fill, but thank you.
big shoes to fill, but it's like how you said, you push forward, and that's something that a lot of people really they would
Admire.
they would admire, exactly. And so, fight fans, that is going to be it from me and Tyler Miller here. But I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to him and his socials. I will go ahead and link them, but it is going to be Bloodthirsty Miller on Instagram, on Facebook. Go ahead and give him a follow. And his next fight is going to go ahead and be at 559 Fights in March. So go ahead and make sure that you guys are out there. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, I will keep everybody posted, and Tyler will as well, about who that matchup is going to be against. But thank you so much for your time today, Tyler. You're awesome, and I wish the best for you in your career. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
All right.